What's going on, guys? This is Jacob with H.I.T, and hope you guys are doing well. It's August 31st, 2025, and this is going to be a channel purpose video, so this is going to give friends and family and general public an idea of why I started the channel. And I actually sat down and wrote out the reason why I started the channel. I wrote it out last night, and I'm going to read directly off of what I wrote down, so I can keep it all in my head organized. But it's 2025, August, the end of August. I started the channel in February of 2024, actually, and I know that a lot of friends and family that's followed me, they've started following me on TikTok. I just started the TikTok not long ago, so I basically just had a YouTube channel. But since I've started the TikTok and I realized that that's where a lot of my friends and family are, I felt the need for them and the general public to have an idea of why I started the channel. So the name of the channel is H.I.T, and HIT stands for high intensity training. So that's what we do when we do our workouts, is high intensity training. Now so now I'll just read off what I wrote out last night to give you an idea of what the purpose of the channel is. So the start of the channel was because there was so much information as it relates to lifting weights that no matter where I looked online, I couldn't find for the life of me what I consider to be a logical or easy to follow routine for weightlifting. There was a lot of information out there, and just about every video you found, you could find something that would contradict it, and there seemed to be no rational or logical way that I could find that would allow me to track and keep track of my progress. So that is until I started seeing reels on Facebook and shorts on YouTube of audio and video clips that would change the course of my approach to lifting weights, maybe forever. The audio and video clips I'm referring to were from a bodybuilder who is unfortunately no longer with us, as he passed away June 10th, 2001. Although Mike has not been with us for over 20 years, his training philosophy is still circulating in the fitness world today, and even more so thanks to the internet. Mike's approach to training is considered controversial, but we'll touch on that a little bit later. First, a little context and background on Mike. Mike was born November 15th, 1951. Mike started to develop the physique of a bodybuilder at just 15 years old. I believe it was before that. But at 15, he started noticing he might have the genetics required to become a top bodybuilder. He joined the Air Force as an adult and continued training. At the time, he noticed that he had the potential to become a top bodybuilder because of his genetics. He figured that in order to be a top bodybuilder, he would have to train like one. So the rest of the bodybuilders at the time, he would have to train like them. At that time, he increased his gym duration and frequency, only to notice that his progress slowed down. This is when he started really training more frequent and spending more time in the gym. And so his progress slowed down. It wasn't until 1971 that Mike became acquainted with a bodybuilder by the name of Casey Viator, who had won a Mr. America title, that Mike began to take a different approach in his training. See, Casey Viator followed the principles of a man named Arthur Jones when it came to bodybuilding. Arthur invented Nautilus machines. Arthur's approach to building muscle was that exercise must be intense, brief, and infrequent. This was a total separation from what Mike had been accustomed to, meaning Arthur's approach was different than the rest of the top bodybuilders in the fact that the top bodybuilders were training endless hours in the gym, and going to the gym very frequently. And Arthur's method was intense, brief, and infrequent, which was, like I said, a total separation from the rest of the bodybuilders. He was kind of an outcast or an outlier. At this point, Mike stops training so frequently and reduces the duration of his workouts drastically and sees better results than he could have ever imagined. He was training 45 minutes per workout and only 2 to 3 times per week. This method of training is known as high-intensity training. The idea is to warm up with a few light to moderate sets for a given muscle group and then perform one set to at least positive failure and even beyond. This, coupled with proper nutrition and adequate recovery, will yield the production of muscle mass according to one's ability to produce it based on their genetics. Genetics aside, Mike deemed this was the only valid theory of bodybuilding and is tailored for the individual who is not on steroids. The information I'm passing on to you is derived from a book titled High Intensity Training the Mike Mentzer Way by Mike Mentzer with John Little. When I read that an individual's recovery was just as important as the workout itself, I couldn't help but think that maybe this type of training is legitimate, because to me it sounds logical and progress should be measurable according to weight lifted and reps performed. Numbers, not feelings. This was a light bulb moment in my head, and needless to say, my interest was piqued. I was reading the book and I just couldn't quit reading it, because when I got to this point, to me it made total logical sense. It flipped a switch in my head, and so I had to read on the rest of the book. Mike would go on to win the only perfect score in a Mr. Universe contest in 1978. He retired from bodybuilding after he placed 5th in the 1980 Mr. Olympia, which he felt was controversial and that he should have won. The remainder of his life he spent coaching people and speaking at seminars about high-intensity training. Remember when I said Mike's approach to bodybuilding is controversial? You can do the research yourself to find that there are no shortage of critics to the one set to failure high-intensity approach, as most bodybuilders perform multiple sets for endless hours and with a frequency that does not allow the body to recover if they were not taking drugs that help them to recover, according to Mike. Where does this leave me, and how do I fit into all of this? While I may not have the genetics to become a top bodybuilder, if this style of training is in fact valid, and considering I am not taking performance-enhancing drugs, then I should be able to apply this training and document it through YouTube and various other platforms with success, and present to you in a meaningful and easy to digest fashion. This is an experiment for myself, as well as a challenge that I wish to bring you along with me. So it would seem to me that if you look online about Mike Mentzer's approach to bodybuilding, you'll find a lot of critics, like I said, and I can see why. I'm not the guy that's going to sit here and say that I don't understand why people disagree with it or they critique it. I'm not going to be that guy. What I want to find out is if what he is saying is true and it's the only valid theory of bodybuilding, then I should be able to apply it and show people that it works if it does work. And obviously I wouldn't be doing it if I didn't think that it worked. So there's a level of curiosity in my mind, as well as kind of a level of conviction that I feel that it should work. So if that's the case, then I should have no problem documenting it and presenting it to you, and so you can put your eyes on it and make your own conclusions. But the conclusion should be irrefutable if the information that I've been given to work off of is correct, and we can make it work. So that's where we're kind of heading towards. Now, that's the purpose of the channel. That's why I started it, and there's been many other things along the way that have kind of helped me keep the channel going. I haven't been consistent with the channel, I'll say that. This is about my 3rd or 4th go around, I guess, of uploading. But this is the reason why I started the channel, and to give a little more context, because when I started uploading the videos to TikTok, they were physique checks is what I call them. Well, this time home, in order to keep myself accountable, my friends and family know I work on the boat, but this time home, in order to keep myself accountable with my eating, I decided to do physique checks and upload them to YouTube daily. And then I decided to start the TikTok and then start uploading those. So that's why there was such a barrage of physique checks on the TikTok all at one time, because I'd been doing it on YouTube, and I figured that'd be a good place to start with on TikTok. And it's just a way to keep me accountable, and as I drop weight, hopefully I should start seeing some changes in physique, which I have. But so that's the purpose of the channel. And then what we're doing right now is these physique checks. I'm eating in a calorie deficit and doing aerobic exercise, running and cycling, things of that nature, in order to help burn off fat. And so the idea is we're trying to burn as much fat as we can. We're going to try to get as leaned out as we can, and then once we get to that point, then we can start building muscle, and that's when this type of training will really come into play. That's when we're going to find out what happens when the rubber meets the road with the training. So we still got a ways to go to implement that. Even though we're doing that with our exercises, we're doing this type of training. But as far in a muscle building context, I'm not building muscle because I'm eating in a calorie deficit. So that's why we're doing the same weight and the same reps on each workout that we're doing. So I hope that kind of gave everybody a clear idea in their mind of what we're doing with this channel. And I hope you guys have enjoyed the videos. Hope you guys continue to come along with me on the ride. And please share the video and get it out to other people, because there's a lot of people in the fitness industry that I think would want to follow along with this process or this journey, just to put their eyes on it to see if it actually works, because it's a very intriguing subject. So if you guys like the video, please like, share, comment, and subscribe, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Thank you for watching.